Hi, today is Wednesday, December 5th. I'm doing a roof and siding inspection, 3518 Hayward Avenue in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm going to start talking about the roof first. You have a main roof, you have a front porch roof, and then there's a small roof in the very back that's underneath the fire escape deck platform. The roof is a pitched roof. It does have shingles on it. It appears to have other layers of roofing material underneath the shingles, like metal, probably even cedar shakes. We need to do a full tear off and strip it all the way down to the actual wood deck and start over from scratch. We do need to inspect the condition of the wood deck to make sure it's going to be suitable for the next roof inspection or roof replacement. Whenever we put the roof back together, we're going to use all new components. The first component that we will use is aluminum drip edge, and the drip edge is going to go around the perimeter of the roof next to the gutters, also over and up and down the gables. The aluminum drip edge is to prevent water from seeping back into the roof. After the aluminum drip edge is put on, then we can put the underlayment paper on. That's a piece of ice and water shield. It's going to go right across the edge of the roof here at the bottom. It's going to go up the valley, and it goes in your high-risk areas. That is a membrane that's made out of rubber, and it prevents wind-driven rains and also ice damming, which is common in Maryland. After the ice and water shield is installed, then we install felt paper over the rest of the roof. After the felt paper and ice and water shield are installed, then we can begin with our flashings. You'll have apron flashing that goes along at the edge of the roof line here on the front porch. And you'll have plumbing pipes that come through the roof that we put new flashing collars on. After all of your flashings are in place, then we will install the shingles. We'll start down at the bottom of the roof with your choice of shingles, and we'll work our way all the way to the peak. Same will go on for your front porch roof. I'm going to skip the back roof for right now until we get around back, and then we'll start discussing that in just a minute. We'll go a little closer so we can discuss your siding. As we're walking over, I'll kind of explain what you have. The siding is vinyl siding. There's lots of different colors and patterns of siding that's been used on this house. Looks like somebody just kind of piecemealed it together. Whenever we do a replacement, I would suggest using the same color and probably going with a pretty neutral and common color tone. Walk up onto the porch here. The siding is vinyl siding. Underneath you do have cedar shakes. There's a couple pieces of siding that are loose around the side and the back that I can pull it back and show you the actual cedar that's in there. You do have two options. We can take all the siding off, including the vinyl and the cedar shake, and then do a replacement. Or we could just take the vinyl siding off and probably just leave the cedar in place and put new siding over top of it. I'll discuss this with you personally to see what option best works for your needs. Another thing that we need to consider is the window cappings, which is aluminum. It goes around the windows. It also goes around the door frames. It goes around the brick molds on the door. The aluminum is a maintenance-free material. It's going to help dress up the window and door openings, and it also is a maintenance-free covering over your windows and doors so you don't have to paint them. Another thing you want to consider is the soffit in the ceiling. Right now it's just an exposed ceiling. Good idea to cover it with vinyl ceiling soffit. That will help dress up the ceiling and make more of a maintenance-free appearance. Another thing that we can do is wrap your columns with aluminum and wrap your beams that go across the head of the porch. We can wrap those with aluminum. Come around to the side. We'll see if we can find a piece of the siding that's loose enough to show you the cedar shakes that are underneath. The condition of this siding is in very, very bad shape. Not sure if you're experiencing any leaks with the roof or the siding. If you pull this back, you can see the actual cedar shakes that are in there. The cedar doesn't look like it's in horrible condition, so that leads me to believe that we can do an overlay with the new siding. And you see a little bit of cedar that's exposed up towards the top. Your neighbors put asphalt shingles on the siding, which is kind of common, but you can see that they're starting to pull off and fall off of the home. So siding is definitely a lot more sturdy and protective for your home. As we're looking at the back of the siding, you can see there's 3 different colors of siding that's used on the back side here. Another thing that we need to do is put new fascia boards on, new gutters, and then enclose the soffit. Need to talk to you about your deck. After going up and doing an inspection of the deck, it appears that it's not built to Maryland code at this point. It may have been built to code whenever it was originally constructed, but at this point it would not pass the Maryland code. So there is a roof that's just underneath of the deck platform. If you wanted to have that replaced, we'd have to take the whole deck off of it, put the new roof on, and then we would have to reconstruct a new deck. By taking it apart, the Maryland Baltimore City building codes would not allow us to put it back together without getting an engineer drawing, going through permits and inspections, and then reconstructing it. So that is something to keep in mind. If you do want to have that roof replaced, we are going to have to include the